Hello everybody, this is your boy Will, aka the greatest political mind the world will never know. I am coming at you again with some more commentary and analysis of this election, and I'm going to tell you the reason why Obama is going to win in a landslide. That's right, you heard it from me, the guy who does not like Obama. Just like a cat don't like a dog, Obama will win in a landslide. And the reason why is because of George W. Bush. See, the American people have been raped, abused, and misused for 8 years by this administration, and it is to the credit of George W. Bush and his greed. And I won't even say George W. Bush, because that's like saying that Darth Vader had more power than Emperor Palpatine, but it's more about Emperor Cheney. And they used George W. Bush because he was a great marketing tool. Bush had the name, he had the infrastructure, and he had that down-home, everyman kind of vibe to him. So Dick Cheney and the other neocons say, hey, we got a great product here. We can put this idiot, because Dick Cheney and Richard Pearl and William Bennett, they all know that George W. Bush is a complete moron. They knew it. But they gave him the correct words to say in a teleprompter. They gave him great slogans to use, like steady leadership in a time of change. Sound familiar? Sounds kind of familiar to you people? Does this story sound familiar? And so they were able to take this 1.5-term governor from the state of Texas with no foreign policy experience to speak of whatsoever. And when people actually brought up his experience issue, they said, well, you're just hating on the American heartland. You're hating on the American people. You're just mad because the average guy wants to have a beer with this guy, because he's a straight talker, a straight shooter. He's trying to bring hope and change to this country after the dark years of President Bill Clinton and all his scandals. So you guys are trying to just crap on the hope and the American spirit. That's what you guys are doing. Sound familiar, everybody? So George W. Bush was able to get into the White House with no foreign policy experience, very little executive experience, after failing every business he ever tried to use. Just failing at everything. A former cokehead, a former drunk, and he became president. You know why? Because of slick marketing. Karl Rove and his team fooled you. And then we found out after all the slogans were done in his first 100 days that George W. Bush was a complete moron and was about to bankrupt the country. And then one fateful day, 19 men hijacked 3 planes and changed the course of American history. And all of a sudden, this idiot became a hero. We rallied around him, 90% approval rating. And he was able to ride that wave of McCarthyism because, see, after 9/11, if you said anything against Bush, you were saying something against this country and you were unpatriotic. And instead of the press being the fourth estate and doing their job and vetting this guy and going into his background, they let him get a pass. They gave him a pass while he was running, because they were scared of alienating the heartland and losing advertisers. And then after 9/11, they were scared because they didn't want to sound unpatriotic and lose advertisers. Remember Freedom Fries, everybody? I mean, that kind of nonsense was able to get Bush to be able to push through the vote for war in October of 2002 and start the war in March of 2003 and get reelected in November of 2004 on patriotism in the American fear of homosexuality, because in 11 states there was a Defense of Marriage Act on the ballot. So that turned out the conservative base. So people, what I'm trying to say to you is that George W. Bush was ineffective, but a great marketing guy, a great marketing product. Does it sound familiar to you? Does it sound just like Barack Obama? Little experience, no foreign policy experience, a great marketing team. Does that sound familiar? It should. Because you people, just as because I didn't vote for Bush either time, but for you people who fell for Bush's BS and that marketing slogans and all the pomp and circumstance of steady leadership in a time of change and change you can believe in. Believe it or not, there was a similar slogan like that for the Bush campaign, bringing us from the dark years of the Clinton years and his sex scandals, bringing hope to the children. I remember that one too. So we fell for it then, so you would think we'd learn our lesson and not fall for it now. But see, we found out that George W. Bush was in it for himself. He was a robber baron. He's a gangster, no different than Al Capone or Scarface. He robbed our coffers, squandered our good faith after 9/11 all over, from good people and good nations all over the world who felt, even our enemies felt sad for us. And we lost it because we invaded a sovereign nation under a lie. We didn't chase the guy who actually attacked us because, for a multitude of different reasons. Some people think it was oil. Some people think it was to pay back Saddam Hussein for trying to assassinate his daddy. Some people think it was just to make Cheney rich through Kellogg Brown and Halliburton. I mean, it's a multitude of different, but all I know is that over 4,000 of our soldiers died. And you people are understandably angry at that. And you hate Bush and you're emotional about this war and our economy and $4 gas. I can understand that. But that's not Republicans. I have been fighting Republicans and conservatism all my life. I've been a lifelong Democrat, whether you believe it or not. But I respect my opponent for who they are and what they are all about. And George W. Bush is not a Republican. He is not a conservative. He is not. Let me repeat that. He is not a Republican. He is not a conservative. He does not have conservative values. Because a conservative would not have the biggest expansion of government in years. He would not start an illegal war. That's not stuff that Republicans do. Republicans want to stay out of your life as much as possible. They want to lower your taxes to obscene levels. I mean, that's what Republicans do. They are very, very fearful of big government. But Bush came in and was about Bush. The Bush administration, Dick Cheney, they were all about themselves. And they have allowed now for another upserver, somebody like Obama with absolutely no accomplishments, to come again to the American people with slogans like hope and change you can believe in, with a great marketing team headed by David Axelrod, to bamboozle you. Because just because they are Democrats don't mean that there aren't evil Democrats. There are evil Democrats, people, and they will rob you again. I've followed McCain, and one thing about McCain, he is a true Republican, to the point where he truly believes in what he says about those basic Republican values. And one thing about it too, he's open-minded. He's a reformer. Name one time Obama has ever challenged his party. One time. You know why? Because you can't. You can't tell me one time. And I guarantee you Obama will be the same type of puppet for the Democratic power structure that George W. Bush was for the neocons. That is why I'm against Obama. So people, when you go behind that curtain November 4th, think about what I've said to you today. Think about how George W. Bush and Obama are pretty much the same marketing product. I didn't say candidates. I said product. You will be so hurt when you find out how ineffective Obama will be. And for all you people, especially you black people who hate me because of my free-thinking self, you know what? I can't help you. This video won't help you. Nothing will help you because you're so blinded by your emotion that you think with your heart and not with your head. Take a look at what I said today. Think it over real deep. And I'll be back to you guys with my analysis of the commentary of Sarah Palin's speech tonight, because it's going to be a good one, people.